So this time we're going to have a look at, once we've got the data into our calculator, how we can find things like the mean, the median, the total of the scores. So that's what this video will be about this time. So remember, again, it's important that we know how to navigate around our calculator, what to look for not only on the screen but on our buttons here and so on. Our mode's important. Our number 1 here is important for statistics. So we must remember that, because you're not going to have this readily available for you when you're actually doing a particular test or topic. So we're going to use the same small data set that we had before. So again, put it in statistics mode, one variable, and I don't care about my frequency column being on. Let's enter the data. 12 equals 8 equals, pressing equals after each one so it goes in, and I've shown you this last time, so I'll try and be quick. 13, 8 and 12, making sure I press equals after the last one, and I've got my 9 scores in. I don't care that it's got a frequency of 1, and I know that there were more than one 12 goes in. As we can see up there, we've got our other 12s, so that's okay. Once we've entered it, remember, press the all clear, and that comes off our screen. So we're going to find different things with our about our data set. First one, we're going to find out how many scores there are. Well, we can count them up and find that there's 9 scores there. Or once I've come out of that, shift, stat, we want to find out something about our calculator there. Let's go to variable, which is 4, and see n's going to tell us the particular number of scores. So n tells us the number of scores. It's the number 1, so press 1, press equals afterwards, and it tells me that I have a score. There are 9 particular scores there. So now that we know that the number of scores is 9, let's have a look at what the total of all the scores are. Total means we need to add them all up. So press all clear. We want to find the sum, because sum also means to add them up. So 3, and this is our symbol here for the sum of the scores. So the sum of x, which is the scores, and when we do that, we want the number 2, press equals, and we find that our total is 97. So now that we've done that, we can press the all clear button, and we can now try and find the next part of the question, which is to find the mean. Now, if you can't remember, the symbol for the mean is x with a line above it. That means the mean of all the scores. And to find that on the calculator, again, shift 1. So look up there, our 4, our variables, there's our mean symbol, so the number 2 equals, and we get 10.77777777 and an 8. So it looks like the 7 repeats, then an 8. When in fact the calculator actually rounds that off, so it is 7 repeater, so 10.7 repeater. Or if you press the SD button on your calculator, you'll get 10 and 7/9. So that's how we do that. Let's have a look at the next part. So let's clear that off, and we're going to find the standard deviation as if all of these scores were a whole group, which is what we call a population. The symbol that we have for that on our calculator looks like that. So again, shift 1, let's come into the variable part, and there is our population standard deviation. So 3 equals, and we type that whole thing down and then reread the question and round it off if it asks us to do that. In this case it hasn't, so we just write the whole thing down. Try and get into that habit and then reread the question and do your rounding off. So we've finished our population standard deviation. Let's have a look at our sample standard deviation. So as if this set of data was actually just a sample of a whole group, meaning we've only taken part of them. So again, shift, stat, number 4, and there is our sample standard deviation, which is 4 equals. So that's what our symbol looked like for the sample standard deviation. We just found that, and again we write the whole thing down. Once we're finished, it's all clear on our calculator, and then we can look for the next part. So our next part is this time to find the median. Now normally when I've shown you how to find the median, you place all these scores in order, but your calculator can actually do that for you. So let's have a look at what we look for to find our median. Again, shift 1, and let's go into this min-max section here and see what's there. So it will tell us what our minimum of the scores are, our maximum of the scores, our lower quartile, median and upper quartile. So we want the median, which is 4, equals, and we get 12, so we get a median of 12. So once we've done that, answer that question, press all clear, and we can get ready for the next part. So we will now find our lower quartile, and we just saw how to do that a moment ago. So again, shift stat, our min-max section, lower quartile is here, so press 3 equals, so a lower quartile, which is Q1, and we find that is 8. So now that we've worked that out, let's clear that. And our next part is to find our upper quartile, so it's in the same section. Now remember, upper quartile is Q3, so shift 1. In our min-max section, Q3 is the number 5, press equals, and we find that it's 12.5. So write that down. So we finish that, let's clear it. There is another part to this example here. We've got interquartile range. Remember, that's also known as, or shortened as IQR. And to find that, it's our upper quartile minus our lower quartile, which we found already was 12.5 minus 8. And when we do that, we find that our interquartile range is 4.5. So although our calculator doesn't calculate that immediately for us, it does find our upper and lower quartile for us. So that makes things a lot quicker and easier than having to place those in order, find the median, find our lower quartile and upper quartile. Okay, so now that we've finished and no longer require the data, remember, if we turn off our calculator, all that statistics will stay there, but to get rid of the statistics, we then will press mode 1, get rid of that, and that will also help us because it will allow us to still use that fraction template if we need to. Okay, so hopefully that's useful for you in being able to find things like the mean and median using the Casio calculator.